take your car, if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. It come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Dance! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern WASA. Come on. To govern WASA, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. Thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. But also remember, we are live on Facebook. Those of you on the go, remember you can view us on Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali live. Also on YouTube, it's TT Real Talk. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live, viewers. So take a few seconds, viewers. Go on your phone, your tablet, like and share our live stream as we go along tonight. So remember, viewers, Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on our fixed deposit. Remember that we are the only licensed financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is giving you 5% interest up front. Remember that it is up front. You don't have to wait 5 or 10 years to collect your interest. You're getting it up front. When you do up your application within 14 days time, you check clear, all documents signed and approved, and you will get your interest up front to enjoy. Yes, that's right, to enjoy. Also, viewers, remember Real Talk Credit Union. Plant a seed today, open a saving account today that you will be able to benefit later on. Remember, when you plant a fruit tree When you plant a seed, it takes time to germinate and grow, and then flowers, and then bear the fruit. Remember that. So if you don't plant a seed today, you will not be able to reap that fruit later on. Always remember that. Plant your own seed, that you will be able to reap fruit from your tree and not somebody else's tree. Always remember that, Trinidad and Tobago, when you want to read somewhere. So as we start our news tonight, Prime Minister Stuart Young has held discussion with U.S. government officials on several energy matters. Stuart Young met with U.S. Embassy Charge d'Affaires Dr. Jennifer de Ortiz and the Embassy Deputy Chief of Mission Charlie Franther. The OPM, Office of the Prime Minister, said the discussion focused on energy-related matters including energy security for Trinidad and Tobago and the wider region. Young previously announced the U.S. Treasury Department Office of Foreign Asset Control, OFAC, had revoked license issued for the Dragon and Mannequin field in Venezuela. Prime Minister said he had reached out to the U.S. Special Envoy for Latin America and the Caribbean and requested a telephone call with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. He said, based on the personal discussion he had with Clever and Rubio, as well as others being pursued, he expects TT will be given an audience and the opportunity to continue to make out this case. So Trinidad and Tobago, hear what? We ain't going to condemn Stuarty. You understand? But I want him to keep in mind that Venezuela is sanctioned. I just want him to keep that in mind. That is all. Moving along, Trinidad and Tobago. Prime Minister Stuart Young have stated that the PNM's manifesto will be launched within 24 hours and had been approved by the party's General Council. The PM also promised that citizens will be able to access service in a quicker, more efficient manner, as he has put the Digital Transformation Minister on notice that technology was to be implemented. He said that this government will make sure that when you apply for your grant or your food card, you are treated with dignity. Stuart Young.
When you apply for your grant, when you go for your food card, when you go for the roof to be fixed on your house, you are treated with dignity. You are treated properly. And we are going to make sure in government offices they use the technology that is available. We don't want to hear anymore and lose your file. We want that information to go straight into the computer. We want to know 6 months in advance you're going to retire. That is in the computer. It goes through the system that we're going to put in place. So on the day of your retirement, within 3 months, your pension is in your account. That is caring for you.
You know, I'm quite surprised, I'm quite surprised. Why am I surprised? He acted as Prime Minister on many occasions. He was the closest one to Dr. Rowley. And I have no idea why these systems were not in place before. They cared so much. It took them 9 years to put things in place now. Is it because of election time? You all decide to care about the people? What happened to the 8 years gone by? Why didn't you advise the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, back then, former Prime Minister, to put system in place? Why didn't you all do that? Why? Just a thought. Young said public servants were not being informed of what is being offered to them. He added that the PNM is offering 5%, which will cost $3.4 billion and $930 million a year, which is what they can afford.
Our public servants, you are not being told the truth. I am still hearing public servants being told by an irresponsible union leader that our labor officer, Miss Jennifer Batiste Primus, under her days led properly. They are not being told what the government has offered. 1%, 1%, 3%, which is 5%. And that is going to cost the taxpayers $3.4 billion and $930 million a year. That is what we can afford. Do not let them fool you and say nothing has been made as an offer to you.
Trinidad and Tobago, who is lying here now? This is where it gets tricky. Stuart Young is saying that the public servants are not being heard of the correct thing. Didn't the CP office say it's 4% for them? Hear this now. I had to be dumb, doted, stupid, and blind at the same time. When Klangenberg was in Ministry of Finance, didn't he come out and say 4% to take it or leave it? We had that video. Stuart Young said that. Not Stuart Young. The Minister of Finance said that, I believe, in Parliament. Wasn't the CPO telling people that is only 4% we could offer them? Trinidad and Tobago is still... Wait, so who is lying here now? Is the CPO office lying or is Stuart Young lying? Because Trinidad and Tobago public servant almost protested for an increase and all they heard was nothing more than 4%. All you remember that? Stuart Young is saying the public servant, they are not hearing the truth. They blame it on the union leader. All I believe that Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something, every dad is bringing you Solia, every single day, How all of a sudden Stuart Young reached 5%? Where 5% come out from, Stuarty? Finance Minister Klangenberg said, 4%, take it or leave it. How quickly we forget. How much? While Ola was getting 4%. Salary Review Commission was revising 900 individual high-ranking officials to raise their salary as much as how much? 47%. What does the PNM people have to say about this? Since when are they getting 5%? Since when the CPO brought 5% earlier? When that happened? Somebody said something. Let's talk now. The PNM further noted that in the last 9 years, the government was getting experience and defending the country. Experience in what? Defending what? You all took 5 years to gain experience. And then the citizens give all the next 5 years again. We bankrupt. We had to be bankrupt. You know why I'm saying that? Because if the former Prime Minister could come out on a platform and said, you know what? The UNC will carry us to IMF. Where did we go? Where did we go? You all maybe didn't go to IMF, but you all went to who? The Chinese. During the COVID time, all I forget. Well, I ain't forgetting. I'm here to remind all you that. No, listen this. As this, he refuted claims that the PNM government did nothing in their tenure. Listen to this.
We have heard the cries and people asking, well, you were there for 9 years, why you didn't do it? In those 9 years, we were defending Trinidad. In those 9 years, we were getting the experience. The experience, we were out there fighting, we were building new programs. We have a stable platform now.
So what exactly did you do in 9 years? What program did you open in 9 years? How did you benefit the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago in 9 years? I want to let you understand something. This have nothing to do with UNC or PNM. A Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is telling us, the citizens, that it took them 9 years to gain experience on how to make all you feel good. Only the UNC and the PNM had to protest for your own money. The PNM people, the UNC people, the NTA people, the NJAC people, the ILO party in Tobago, everybody working in Trinidad, all they had to protest. 9 years. Only to get what? At the end of 9 years, higher food price, property tax, bad road, non-functioning hospital, schools non-functioning, functioning halfway. What? Ministry of Education. Then she took 9 years to find out how to deal with the education system in the country. 9 years? How much will I get better roads in 9 years? Defending the country from what exactly? It can't be crime, because even with a SOE, no one feels safe. Increasing cost of living, the forex crisis. So what exactly was Young and his government defending? What exactly? Growth? Which growth? Which growth? Now we'd have people who would defend Young, but can they say what growth Trinidad and Tobago had exactly? Because I am a businessman in Trinidad and Tobago and I deal in the financial sector. So I want Shorty to tell me exactly defending what were you defending? What type of program did you open actually? What schools did you all complete and open? Which hospital is fully functional right now? Call a good night.
Yeah, good night, Mr. Saeed. Great show. Good night to you and good night to your staff, man. Mr. Saeed, here we have a one-day Prime Minister standing up on a platform and telling to the workers of Trinidad and Tobago that they had offer we 1 by 3. That is a blatant lie, sir. That is a blatant lie to and a real disgrace to the workers of this country. He never offered nobody nothing. How he could come and say now is 1 by 3. He lying. And we former Prime Minister had never offered the workers anything. It's clubbing but who say 4% take it or don't get nothing.
Correct.
How come he come now telling people 1 by 3? And when Colin and Bird had given us the 4%, he specified which is the 2 years he given with the 4% for.
Thank you.
And he wanted us to pardon the rest. So the rest of years. So why he lying so on the public television? And Saieed Ali boy, you know what has really, really hurt me? You know these fellas does not be held accountable. You come on a big platform in a big election that going one of the most serious elections in Trinidad and Tobago, and you gonna lie so? And everybody sees how you expect to win an election with that? Really stupidest Chinese I ever see, sir. You have a good night. Great show.
No, but you know what I don't understand? You know what I don't understand? The public servant themselves. This is reality, eh? This is not about party. This is about being educated and not being dancy. Let me tell you something. It have the people who love PNM party. Now, before I say this, I'll say this again. I am not affiliated with no political party. I pick no sides. I on television, live Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m., demanding justice for us, demanding fair and equal trade for us, demanding transparency for us. How could a public servant go to a PNM party rally and listen to Stuart Young saying that the union is giving their union members the wrong information? How could you sit down knowing that you protesting to get to even 4%, and all of a sudden Stuart Young get your ball? You only know 5% all I was getting? So I want to ask myself, these citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, who in the public sector, who decided to campaign with PNM, you all deaf or something? I'm just asking myself that. Are you all deaf? How could you sit down and cheers, yay! And 2 days before that, all are protesting for all the money. Let me tell you something. No wonder why some of us cannot come out of poverty. They can't. We, as a nation, as a citizen of our country, we can't come out of poverty. You know why? When we, as human beings, who went to school, who was taught 1 and 1 was 2, not 6 and 5 is 13, you know. We went to school. We get a job. We could understand English. We have a bank account. We know what we're working for. But yet, when somebody tells you something, you're stupid to what they're saying. How could that be? Call her good night.
Good night, Saeed. A long time. This is the imitation vaccine vagrant. And I want to talk about the real vaccine vagrant. Yesterday on the newspaper, on the daily newspaper, an engineer got compensation from the state for about $80,000. That individual was persecuted and prosecuted by the state. He lived in Mohammedville. He was one of 13 people arrested and maligned by a police raid persecuting the Mohammed family. The Mohammed family is from Kamal Mohammed and the whole area down there. Immediately after that, they freed 10 of them and they charged 2 of them with some minor charges. One of them was freed yesterday. But you know what the newspaper hasn't done on the news article? They haven't given us the free story. That is when Nafisa, who was the deputy political and the legal advisor to KCR, left the PNM. Because the PNM persecuted them and prosecuted them. People who was close to the PNM. And the people of Sawa Barataria must understand the Islamophobia that was put on them by KCR and the PNM. You know what they said at that time? When they were running the village and they barging the face, barging their set home, they say they was planning a terrorist attack for Carnival. I want people to go and research that in 2018, what they did to the Mohammed and all the people in Mohammedville. The wicked PNM are going to have a nice evening.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, like I said, it's not about party. It's about understanding. It's about understanding what is coming out to you, what is showing towards you. Stuart Young said 5% now, and the union leaders are not telling us the truth. Really? So I had decided to be blind, dumb, deaf, and stupid to be here 8 years now telling all of the truth. But I had to be dumb or deaf to hear what Stuart Young is saying. All of a sudden, they want to put things in place. What happened to the 8 years gone by? Stuarty forgot. Stuart Young forgot that Dr. Rowley said when they now came into power, they had money to run the country for 3 days. This is 9 years now. 9 years now. Hey, you look good, yes? So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we return, UNC leader, we will find the money after this break.
We'll be right back.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over
with upfront interest.
Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Trinidad and Tobago, I want to let you understand something. Put aside party. Put aside UNC. Put aside PNM. Sit down and think for yourself. Listen to what Stuart Young is saying. And listen to the reality that you are going through. Forget party. Forget UNC. Forget PNM. Think about what you went through. Think about what you're going through. Think about the situation in your household that you are facing. Think about your salary when you get it at the end of the month. How far it carrying you. You think about that. When you don't think about that now, think about the hospital for the last 9 years. Think about your school. Think about the landslip in your area. Think about the corporation that never have money. Think about that. Think about that. Forget party. Forget party. Forget UNC. Forget PNM. Think about your very, very situation. Think about that. Opposition leader Kamala Prasad-Bisasa says a future UNC administration will fund its promise initiative by eliminating government waste and prioritize people over privilege. She made a pledge in Penal last evening as she outlined infrastructure reform the UNC intends to roll out if elected. Kamala.
We will redirect that PNM Eater Food money to support, take that money and support land for the landless. Take that money, prioritize, you have to prioritize. We'll take money to repave our roads. We'll take that money to implement a comprehensive traffic alleviation plan and to supply what? Water in your taps. We will do it.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I also want to ask Kamala Prasad and the UNC, for the last 9 years, why haven't you all been pressing as an opposition to get things done? Why haven't the 41 on the UNC side, why haven't you all been pressing the education system? Why haven't you all been pressing the healthcare system? Why haven't you all been pressing the security system? Why haven't you all been pressing the Ministry of Works Department? Why? What happened to all these former ministers from the UNC side who were minister when they had their tenure? We don't hear nothing about education again from the opposition. We don't hear nothing about national security. We don't hear nothing about road works. We don't hear nothing about schooling. Where are all these former ministers? Where are they? Now, Trinidad and Tobago, to be honest with you, we have two political parties rolling out plans for you if they reach into power or if they are elected. As I say, think about yourself for the last 9 years and where have you been? Now, back to Prasad-Bisasa. However, the political leader accused the PNM government of squandering billions of dollars with little to show for. Listen to this.
They spent $530 billion. $530 billion, over $500 billion. That is more than any other government has ever spent in the history of our country. So where did that money go? Not to build schools, not to build police stations, not to pay workers. Where did it go?
Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has addressed the nation, not as head of the government, but as political leader of the People's National Movement. Dr. Rowley defended his administration, strategies, effort in the energy sector, accusing the opposition, United National Congress, of sabotaging key national development projects for political gain. He focused on the Dragon gas and the Manatee field, both critical to TNT energy future. He blasted the UNC for what he was called blunt hypocrisy on the Dragon gas project. Listen to this.
The same way we are supporting Sandals when they think it is dead, because they set out to ensure that none of these things come to pass, because they believe it's all politics, and if they come to pass, the PNM government will get the benefit. But we have another interest. Dragon is a 3.5 trillion cubic feet field. Loran Manatee is a 10 trillion cubic feet field. So all this thing about Dragon, the bigger fish that is being fried now is Manatee. Because we, this PNM government, we have been able to get the same Venezuelan government to agree to have Shell acting on our partnership behalf to go into the Manatee Loran field.
So tonight I want to ask the former Prime Minister, who revoked the license? Who revoked the Dragon gas deal license? Was it the UNC? Ask yourself that, Trinidad and Tobago. Whether you are belonging to any political party, ask yourself, who revoked the license? And who are you going to blame for that? Ask yourself that. While he is no longer Prime Minister, Rowley remained political leader of the PNM, explaining that there were two separate streams of activity taking place. He said he planned to ensure that when he left the PNM as its political leader, it would be a stronger position. Sad. Call it good night.
Very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
Go right ahead, my friend. You're live. Good evening to you.
It's very, very simple. The UNC, neither the PNM had anything to do with the revocation of the license.
Thank you very much.
The actual revocation. However, the PNM, as the government, has caused that to happen. They had caused that to happen by their association with narco-terrorists, by a dictator and whatnot. But I want to touch on something. The People's National Movement is asking where the UNC getting, where they will find the money to do all the things that they promised to do. I would like to let them know that that is none of their business. Look, they promised to build a $300 million housing development in the wharf in San Fernando. For Mr. Cummins, $200 million school.
Yeah.
Why? Where they getting the money? Right? Vanity House, I saw the Vanity House. You believe that building was done by a raffle ticket? Come on, man. Money buying all the business and those study the lady business now, all the best.
Thank you, my friend. Now, I just want to say this. Stuart Young talk about giving new homeowners the chance to build a home for 1 million, 1.5 million. Listen to this. How much money was spent on HC houses that are today incomplete? How much money was spent on HC houses that today are being vandalized? How much money was spent on houses that today cannot even be given out? Because you know why? We're not qualified. So if we not qualify for a house that is worth $1 million, how in God's land we call Trinidad, we are going to be qualified for a home for 1 million to 1.5 million? Stuarty, answer that now. I want you to answer that. 9 years, 9 solid years of HEC complaining and complaining and complaining. Citizens apply to HEC home for 15, 20 years. How much houses have been given out thus far? If you build 10,000 houses, 1,000 give out. What happened to the next 9,000? 4. What happened to the next 9,000? So listen to this now. We're talking about security. Law enforcement stakeholders, including Minister of National Security Marvin Gonzalez, have agreed with a proposed plan for the Prime Minister Stuart Young to simplify the selection process for a commissioner and deputy commissioner of police. Young said there was a need to introduce a more seamless procedure for the appointment of a leader of its TTPS. Listen to this,
The first thing I said is we are going to reform the way we appoint a commissioner of police. The last time we did it, the first people to rush the court was the UNC. Well, I ain't afraid court. And now we have Larry who ain't afraid court either. And we have young, bright attorneys in the People's National Movement who ain't afraid court either. We are going to simplify the process. It is time in our writing of the next chapter, we break hold of those shackles and we find a way to implement a new appointment of a commissioner of police that is a simpler process, that finds the best fit, not necessarily rising through the ranks, but if you are the best person for the job, you get the job. We need the thinking, we need the strategy.
Again, I will ask, when Dr. Rowley went to the president to scrap the merit list, where were all these highly educated lawyers of Trinidad and Tobago? Where were they? Where were they? We didn't hear nothing about that. Motor vehicle increase in theft. Housebreaking increase. Kidnapping. Kidnap start back. So where were these prominent lawyers and them Stuart Young talking about? Where were they? You know, none of them lawyers can jump up and say nothing now. None of them cannot jump up and say anything to defend anything. Stinking sad. Now listen to this, Contacted for comments, Gonzalez said he agreed with Young, caused nothing that such a change was necessary. So why y'all didn't make this change when Dr. Keith Rowley was there? Why did Dr. Keith Rowley have to go to the president to scrap our list? How could Dr. Rowley get involved? How did the president get involved? What happened to the commission? What happened to that? Or is it that the person who was qualified for the job, Dr. Rowley and the president didn't like them? Where were all these attorneys now that Stuart Young talking about? Where were they? Where were they? Taking orders. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Yeah? All of a sudden now we have lawyers. We have qualified people. Even Larry, Stuart Young said. Where was Larry back then? Eh? I know who Stuart Young talking about, it's Larry, But where was Larry? Where was that Larry Stuart Young speaking about? Hey, let me tell you something. You see, coming to fairness, be very careful. So we're going down Moruga campaigning. Just 2 weeks before the April 28th general election, act of vandalism to campaign material such as posters and banners continue this time in Moruga. However, candidates in the Moruga Tableland constituency will not remain silent on this matter. UNC candidate Michelle Benjamin, who is seeking to retain a seat, described the act of vandalism as deliberate. On a Facebook post, she said, "It is deeply disappointing to see banners and posters bearing my image being deliberately taken down and vandalized across Moruga Tableland. Act of vandalism do nothing but insult the intelligence of the illiterate." Meanwhile, in a post on the PNM's Facebook page, candidate Lisa Atwater mentioned that despite these vandalism acts, she will continue to be a pillar of respect and integrity and absolutely will not condone this type of behavior. So how are we not seeing this right through the country? Why only Moruga Tableland? Why only Moruga Tableland? It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something, eh? Caller, good night.
Yes, I. Good night.
Go right ahead.
Yes, I. After 9.5 years, Young and Rowley now still blaming Kamla for their failures, right?
Correct.
They're coming now and they're saying it's because of the UNC standards they don't want to build on everything. But they were taking taxpayers' money to build the resort.
Correct.
How that profiting the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? Because we could say we have our standards in Tobago and standards spending their own money all over the Caribbean to build their own resort.
True.
They're coming now, listen, the US revoked the license because they don't want them to have no dealings with Venezuela because Venezuela under sanctions.
Correct.
Right? People need to understand what it is going on across there. You can't go and interfere in these fields because I'm going to tell you something, I keep saying it. If the PNM win, we're going to get sanctioned here because they're going ahead and interfere with the gas fields and the US is going to sanction Trinidad along with Venezuela. That is how we're heading here, you know. People need to understand what's going on. And let me tell you something, I was looking at Gary Griffith on certain platforms, and let me tell people something one time. Voting for the NTA is voting for the PNM, because Gary Griffith said his own mouth, he's not sure which party he's going to support if they win a seat. So therefore he will go with the UNC or the PNM, and he's not with the UNC right now. He is ringing and finger with the PNM. People need to understand what's going on in the country now. Our vote for the NTA is our vote for the PNM. And I'm going to tell you something, voting for Makila Pandey makes no sense. Because the UNC is the only party that can remove the PNM from government. Or let's get that show, let's stick skull. The UNC is the only party that can remove the PNM. Anyway, sorry, you enjoy your night.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're going to some former Petrotrin workers. Now listen to this. Many former Petrotrin workers say the past 7 years has been filled with mental anguish, financial instability, and crushed hopes. Even as Prime Minister Stuart Young announced the Orlando PLC, the Nigerian company that is the preferred bidder for the refinery, will seek to rehire them. If operation restarts, they still feel no sense of ease. Petrotrin was shut down in November 2018. The government maintained, though, that it did not close down the company and that it was restructuring to Heritage Petroleum Company Limited. Fast forward to 2025. The government chooses Orlando for the lease of a point-of-care refinery as it looks to restart operation. Young previously said the company will not, listen to this, the company will not bring in foreign workers for the refinery, and that the government made a negotiation for former refinery workers to be hired. Listen to this.
So let me put you on notice tonight. If we want that refinery reopened, because let me tell you, you know what Orlando told us? You know who the workers for the refinery going to be? They are not bringing in any foreign workers. It is the same workers who used to run the refinery before. We have negotiated for them to use the same workers. So all of you all who want to follow Kamala and Roger and their stupidness, you will follow them over a cliff. But with a responsible PNM government, Orlando has said they will use the same workers and the same local people, meaning your community, meaning your brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, daughters, to start up the refinery and to run it.
Now Trinidad and Tobago, Denny, we'll call him Denny. A previous worker said he worked at a refinery for 12 years as a senior operator. But being the breadwinner in his family, he was left distraughted, struggling to secure a new job. While seeking, some colleagues got opportunities at another oil and gas companies. He opted to start an agribusiness, but then the COVID-19 pandemic hit and the business never recovered. Previously, Young said that the PNM government did close the refinery. Listen to this now.
Shut down Petrotrin. So when you hear the UNC still with their lies about how PNM shut down Petrotrin, I want each and every one of you to tell you that is a damn lie. This PNM government did not shut down Petrotrin. You go and check the facts.
The refinery was state-owned. So I want to ask Stuart Young, who gave the final say in closing down the refinery? Who gave the final say? Keep in mind, Trinidad and Tobago, the refinery was state-owned. So who, if the refinery was state-owned, who gave the okay? Who is responsible for it? Nevertheless, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, TNT re-elected to the Commission on Narcotic Drugs. More when we come back.
We'll be right back.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtalk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtalk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
You a curveball and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
Remember, viewers, Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on fixed deposit. Remember that the good thing about this fixed deposit is that you're getting your interest up front. You don't have to wait 5 years. You don't have to wait 5 years. You enjoy your interest up front. That trip you was planning to go, when you're here, you collect your interest at the end of 5 or 10 years. Let me tell you something. You don't have to wait 5 and 10 years. You're going to the trip when you collect your interest up front. So when you come in and you sign up your documents, your check is processed, the office is going to call you within 14 days to come and collect your interest up front so you could go for your vacation that you was dreaming about. Yes, who making it happen for you? Real Talk. Remember, viewers, if you're looking for a loan, borrow too, it's not a problem. Contact Real Talk Financing. Set up a date and time. Our office numbers will be on screen shortly, viewers. Call the office, set up an appointment, come down, have a discussion with our members, staff members. They will tell you the requirements. Once you meet the criteria, you're getting money in your hand. Remember, viewers, within 24 to 36 hours, you can access loan at Real Talk Financing. Remember that. So as we start off our program tonight, the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has announced that Trinidad and Tobago was re-elected by acclamation to serve for another 4-year term on the Commissioner of Narcotics Drugs, beginning on January 1st, 2026. According to a media release from the ministry, the election took place during the 14th preliminary meeting on the Economic and Social Council in New York on April 4th. Trinidad and Tobago successfully re-elected to CND comes as this country's campaign for a non-permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. So Trinidad and Tobago, all well and good, be back in the game. Be back in the game again. But nevertheless, oh, I forget. You know what I forget to run? The van. I don't remember. Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who looking for a good Toyota van or a new model Mazda pickup, I have 2 vans for sale. Prestige condition. It's a Toyota 4x2 Hilux. You can see the condition for yourself. Prestige. Proper working condition. Also have a TED Mazda pickup. New brand. 14,000 kilos. Those of you interested, you can contact me at 339-1670. Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to love these vehicles. 14,000 kilos, as I said. So any one of you interested, you love your van, give me a call. So viewers, I want you to take this time to think, because general election is coming up soon. Like I say, I am here to bring the truth to you, the reality to you, I am not picking any political side because I am not affiliated with any political side. My job is to bring reality to you. My job is to bring the issues that we are facing in this country. This is my job, to highlight your community, to highlight the councillor, to highlight the bad road, to highlight the not getting of water in your tap. You're paying bills and you still ain't getting water. The street light in your community, is it working? What about the drugs in your community? What about the guns, the cocaine, the prostitution? Are you getting it fixed? Are you getting it fixed? So viewers, I am Saieed. You're viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali, Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. live with a rerun the next day from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. Until then, viewers, it's that time where I must say good night.